home fry. Okay. What's up, Cherokee? What's up, Alfred? Nice to see you. All right. Let's see. Awesome. You're always live again, Fryer. Yes. I'm always. Well, I'm doing live streams. Um, I'm doing live streams like my normal thing. When I have signal, I do one every night. And then I started committing to doing the walking with Tuck, or the wandering Tuck. And so, yeah, therefore, it forced me to kind of always be doing a live stream. Plus, I also put long form content in because only maybe like 15% of the overall subscribers are here because of the lives, and they only watch lives. Everybody else watches long form, so I got to make sure to do all that. Plus, cooking dinner, but listening. Hope everyone is well. Hey, Bucknut, what you cooking for dinner? Can you hand some through the chat? Because I want some, please. So, okay. What's up, DFH? Nice to see you. Okay, so those of you guys that weren't here this morning, Pebbles was supposed to be here, wasn't here. Okay. Am I mad? Am I angry? Am I upset? No. I'm a little. I waited a long time, but you know what? It was everything's kind of worked out in the best. So I mean, I'm just gonna see the silver lining in it, because if all I'm gonna do is get mad about it, then what's it solve? And I told you guys when she ghosted me and then came back. I says, I bet you this is gonna be an on again, off again relationship. So watch, she'll probably reach back out to me again, and I gotta decide if I even want to be able to do anything with her, because I mean, here's what she did that was actually positive for the channel. Okay, before I get into today's topic, because I'm gonna wait for chat to kind of pick up before I start talking about basically 5 minutes that yeah, they suck and they ain't got it right. So, but anyways, so I got today. I went to the library and I just went and looked. Wife wants burgers, but my daughter and I want Mexican, so I'm thinking nachos, and just cook her a hamburger on the side. So Pebbles is getting well. Oh god damn! I hope not. Pebbles gets no. I know you guys are my bros, and bros before hoes, but here's the thing. I knew this about her. She was open that she was flaky. She had me convinced that this was actually, she was going to follow through on it. And that's kind of what really floors me, is that, I mean, all the way up to the moment of, and then, yeah. But anyways, oh, dude, I want a burger. No, I don't know. I want tacos. I want nachos. Can I have it all? So, but anyways, so let's, just, I'm floored by that, but other than that, this was expected. I wasn't sure if she was going to show. That's why I kept preparing you guys, saying, as long as she shows, because I was kind of trying to tell you in a nice little way, is, yeah, even I'm expecting her to flake on me. But I just, honestly, I'd like to know why. I want to know what her reasoning was this time. And I don't know, we'll go from there. But I'm probably, if, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice. Okay, I let her back in once. I'm probably not going to let her back in again. So, yeah, no Pebbles rails. So, ribeye steaks on the grill tonight. Fuck all y'all motherfuckers. Fuck all y'all. So, but okay. So I've been asking around. Grace is just being, I don't know if it's the kid. So there's a kid up there. He's got a chip on his shoulder. I don't know if he doesn't like me because I'm straight or because I'm white, because, he likes guys. So I know he doesn't have a problem with me being a guy. But he gives me shit every time I go up there, and I ask him a simple question, and it's like, well, it's not our job to know. Oh, well, we don't work for the city. Oh, well. No, these guys are supposed to know this. These are supposed to. Their whole motto is, we're a one-stop shelter, and so Grace Marketplace won't even give you any information. Oh, sorry, we can't help you. So they're, in a lot of ways they're setting us up. If they don't have any information or any knowledge of, okay, your shelters are full, I can't get a bed tonight, it's illegal for me to sleep outside, there's supposed to be a designated camp, the city of Gainesville is required by law, HB 1365 is required by law to have a designated camp. Where's my designated camp? Okay, I mean, I wanted to go in, I wanted to report on it, I wanted to tell you guys about it, and how it was and everything else like that. But where is it? What has Gainesville done? Gainesville, they're dragging their feet. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. And this goes for anybody in Florida that is stuck in the same situation as me, okay? Because at this point in time, you're being denied due process by law, okay? What is due process? Okay, due process is a set of standards. Okay, so if a cop has to have a reasonable suspicion to pull you over. Once he has a reasonable suspicion, then he has to investigate. And in order to investigate, he has to have probable cause. Okay, and then once he gets to probable cause, then he does a little bit more investigation and decides whether or not he needs to arrest you or write you a ticket or whatever. And he's got this little handy book in his little vest pocket that he's going to pull out, and he's going to go, okay, they broke this one, so this is what I'm supposed to do. Okay, so I mean, it's Philip Drew, administrator. Okay, so there is a set of process, and the thing is, according to the law, to sleep outside is illegal, and you can be tossed in jail if you do not go to a mandatory homeless camp. Well, there's going to be a short little time where they kind of try and like rustle everybody up and every homeless person that they find, and they'll probably in the cities that got it set up are probably going to go through and wrestle out all their homeless everywhere they can and get them in these designated sites because it benefits them. Okay, but what about Gainesville? Gainesville does that. You're denied due process because by law you are required to go, or you can expect, you have a reasonable expectation that a designated campsite will be made for you if you are homeless according to the law. Okay, and are they following the law? No, they haven't set it up. So any tickets that they give in the city of Gainesville or in any city in the state of Florida that has not got its designated campsite set up and does not have enough capacity, because you got to be able to have capacity. And right now, with everything that's going on, you're going to see capacity expanding. They're never going to have enough room. Watch. Give it 6 months, and you're going to be sitting there going, "Damn, Tuck, you must have saw that one." But no. There's been other people other than me that have been warning about this one for a while. One would be Economic Ninja. He warned that the strikes would lead to economic chaos and that the unions would actually lose on this. And, with all these migrants coming across, why do we need unions? We can just bring migrants in and they'll do it, and they'll do it cheaper. And we can actually automate the workforce and make more money. And we'll all be happy. We'll make more money, and now these guys don't have a job. That's what's going to end up happening. Watch. I will not be surprised if something like that happens. Okay? So you have, let's say this goes on for a full month. I mean, what happened when the pandemic had to shut down for a full month? Okay? That first month, at first you could get stuff through Amazon and then you couldn't, right? At first you could go to the grocery store and get stuff and then you couldn't. At first the shelves were full. They haven't been full in, 4 years now? Okay? Because the supply chain is never corrected. You destroy the supply chain the way that they're destroying the supply chain, you are going to see a massive exodus out on the streets. And so here in the state of Florida, where they have these mandatory camps, as long as they have capacity, which means until, once they get to capacity and, they're like, okay, we've got extra room for 10 or 15 travelers that come through, then, at that point in time, if they don't have enough capacity and in a designated site for you, then they still cannot ticket you because it's a denial of due process. And if they do take you to jail, not only can you might, well, your public pretender probably ain't going to help you. But you may want to sit down and have a talk with your pretender anyways and say, hey, look, I'm being denied due process, 1, and 2, the city has failed to uphold the law, and so now I've lost time and productivity, and now I have this on my record, and this is still going to show up even though nothing happens, I'm paying a price for their negligence. And maybe if enough people turn and sue, especially if you start going down to the legal aid. Okay, legal aid will be your friend in this, because the thing is what it will do is it will either force DeSantis to come down with the full force of the state government and force these cities to do this, and designate it and make it state property. But then again, he gets to take away all their funding for that as well, because now the state has assumed the cost. And that means that the city now loses their cash cow. Okay, so I mean, this is going to be very, very painful. This is a war between the cities and the counties versus the state government. In the same way that we had a war between the states and the federal government, with, like, let's say, like Obamacare and a few other big legislative stuff. So this stuff is all just there. It's a clusterfuck. There's nothing that's going on that's proper, that's right. And there's really no way that you as an individual, if you're stuck in this situation, like the cops come up on me, where am I supposed to go? I mean, that was the cool part about coming to Florida, is I got a designated campsite. I don't have to go sleep on the street. I can set up my tent in a designated campsite. I can leave my tent there and it will be protected, because they now have surveillance. They now have security. I now have safety and security where I can leave my stuff and go out into society and be productive. Now, is that a plus or is that a negative for the homeless person? This is actually something that benefits the homeless person. So even if you want to sit there and say, oh, HB 1365, it is, it's a law against the homeless, but is it benefiting the homeless? Is it being productive against the homeless? Because when you have safety and security in your effects, which means I can leave my pack and all my contents in my tent, go out into town, go do my business, come back, and have a tent right there that is been, watched over, so on and so forth. I make nice with your neighbors and stuff like that. So you have the ability to have that if it's properly managed. Now, see, that's the big problem. Properly managed. Usually what happens when these dignity villages get set up, because we had them set up in 2008, usually what happens when these dignity villages get set up is, in a lot of them, the gangs come in, they take over, and they start running it, and the staff just kind of, skips to the tune of the gang and operates within their boundaries, because they're like, okay, you're here to help, but if you overstep a boundary, then you're going to get some pushback. And I've seen that a few times in my travels, even in the last couple of years, where it's the group gets overran by the gangs because they have weak leadership that's too busy trying to be soft and help everybody instead of help the ones that want to be helped. My grandfather, when he was in school, so he was the beginning of the boomers, okay, and he went to school like in a poor little farm village, right? And there was like 20 kids in that classroom, and they would all sit there, and I said, well, how did it work with you guys? They didn't say that it was overcrowded. He says, look, the teachers taught the ones that were listening. The rest of them were going to go be farm hands or go be general labor. The teachers sat there and placed their times on the ones that wanted it, that were intelligent enough to be able to grasp the information that was being put there. That worked in our education, because we let those that were not going to be very productive, because we still had an agrarian culture, so that was okay. Now that we don't have an agrarian culture, unskilled labor is toxic to the system, because it all requires skilled labor, because machines do all the unskilled labor. Migrants do all the unskilled labor. All the skilled labor needs to be done by the natives. Okay? So, all right, guys, I'm going to read some of these comments. If you guys would put all the comments in all caps if you want me to read through them, because sometimes I get on these rants and I start talking about this stuff and I forget that chat's going wild. So I appreciate all of you guys that make comments. If you want me to respond, it needs to be in all caps, or you need to do a super chat. The only way I get funding on this is if I get tips in my tips jar, which are down in the description, or you join in one of my memberships. That's what allows me to keep doing what I'm doing and being able to progress to a point where eventually one day I'm gonna have a piece of land, which means I won't be homeless anymore. Okay, and that's really the goal that I'm working for at the end of the day. That's kind of where my channel is going to retire 10 years from now. Okay, so let's see what we got here. So, okay, Alfred, Jeremy, okay. Nice to see you too, Kung Fu. Waffle, Waffle, I'm sure that's still funny. Making burgers first for her. Okay. Yeah, okay. You should go up North Carolina and help rebuild the destroyed communities. They're all homeless. You fit right in. Who said this? Alfred? Yeah. Uh, I'm in Florida. I'm tired of riding the bus. I'm either the next time I travel and I have to do long distance like that, I'm either hopping a train, I am renting a car, or I have a van, because I am not doing Greyhound anymore. I'm done with Greyhound. Okay, I when I came down here, I swore that this was my last Greyhound ride. Okay, and unless something really sideways happens that forces me on Greyhound, I'm done with Greyhound. Okay, so Mustafa, he does a lot. Uh, okay. It's all broken. Yes, it is. Rules for thee, but not for me. Yeah, witchcraft. Am I wrong in my assessment? Okay. They're automating the ports. Yes, that's actually okay. So I don't know if any of you guys have watched what Glenn Beck put out on it, but there's two main things that he was talking about that they wanted, and everybody says the it sounds good on the surface until you actually look in at the numbers. So they want better pay, and they want to guarantee that that their jobs are not going to be taken over by robots. Who doesn't want that, right? Well, the thing is they're going to by forcing the port not to upgrade its technology so that they could keep the workforce, instead of laying them off and just kind of making it safer and quicker and more efficient, because like all the Chinese ports and a lot of the ports in the world, those ports are becoming automated, so now that puts us way behind. And we are we LA used to be one of the busiest ports. It's not one of the busiest ports anymore. I think the East Coast port, not New York, but I think someone else is actually bigger. The other thing is they want a 70% raise over 6 years. And what that 70% means, from what Glenn Beck was saying, is that these guys make anywhere from $100,000 to $220,000 a year. So that means that $100,000 guy is going to go up to 170, while the other guy goes up to 340,000. Well, now who's that going to be passed down to? You or me? The average consumer, the guy that's shipping? Everything gets passed down to the consumer so that everybody else can make a little bit of money off of what's left over. Okay, and so with that being said, this is why they're going to lose. It's because they're asking for unrealistic expectations. So China has spyware and all the yeah, okay. I like DeSantis, but he fucked the goat on this one. Rails, I don't think DeSantis actually fucked the goat on this one. This isn't his fault. Okay, this was passed by Florida Congress. He signed it. Okay, it's House Bill 1365. So that means it originated in the House. Okay, so they created a bill and said, we're going to spend money and we're going to give all these cities money to set up a designated campsite. And we're going to modify the law on what it already is and add the designated campsite. Well, that was a good thing, because it's a step in the right direction. And as a homeless person, if you can at least get a place to sleep where you're not going to get kept up all night, you're not going to get rustled up in the middle of the night by the cops. You don't have to play duck and dodge. You don't have to carry your gear around with you all day, every day. That makes a huge difference. So there is a plus side to all this, Rails. Now DeSantis, all he did as governor is he signed it into law. So it went through the House, it went through the Senate, they both passed it. So why wouldn't the governor sign off on it? Because that is the voice of the people, and he was just agreeing with them. Okay, so to blame this on DeSantis, you can't necessarily blame this on DeSantis. Now, he's going to get credit for it because he's governor, okay, because he has the power to veto, unlike the other two branches where they can just up or down, and it either passes or doesn't pass. Once it's already passed, well, he's the last stop. Was it a good idea? Was it a good deal? I think it was. The cities have had 9 months. Okay, I've been gone for about 10 months. Okay, the cities have had about 9 months to get this done. Okay, the cities had plenty of time. The state offered money, and I'm sure that there's money sitting in a slush fund because the cities didn't grab at it because they didn't meet the requirements. They were trying to get the money without actually doing the work. See, that's the waste in bureaucracy. So the fact that it wasn't that whatever money's there because they couldn't grab at it, that's a good thing. That means it's less money that's wasted. Because what has Gainesville done if it's gotten any money? What does it put the money for? Okay, what does it put the money for? Okay, so this is not necessarily on DeSantis. I would place the full blame on the cities because they had 9 months. 9 months is plenty of time to be able to procure some land, especially if you're working with the state and it is a law. You know, they could take the reserve field over here, right next to Grace, and they could turn that into designated camp spots, set little posts up. So, you know, like, and therefore you get a number, that's your number. You're there for as long as you stay. You got to keep your house clean, They'll give you a list of rules. They'll do checks and stuff like that if they're smart. Okay, but they could have done something like that very simply. And the state, they could have forced the state to work with them because, you know, of the fact that the state is the one that is making the cities do this, and now they have to come to the state to get get their land. Okay, so this is quite the conundrum. I think really what happened is that the rich elite did not have a chance to get ahead of this, buy up the land so that they could make money hand over fist from the government agencies that they go in and they sell it to, because they got their buddies and they're like, yeah, here, you know, I paid $10,000 for it, but I'm gonna sell it to you for $45,000. Okay, and I got this perfect plot of land over here for you. So therefore, the rich get to profit off it exponentially because they pre-position themselves, because they have the capital to be able to do that. And so I think because that wasn't allowed to happen, and because everybody got caught with their pants down, it's not like they had 2 years to implement this, so everybody could pre-position themselves. No, they got 9 months, and the cities had 9 months, and that's plenty of time. They should have gotten it done. There's plenty of areas around here where I've seen where it is open land, open field. You could very easily put 150 people in one area. Well, no, not 100. I'd say maybe 50 people in one area, and you know, have a couple more throughout the city, because, you know, if people are working in one part of town or another part of town, they, you know, or if they want to set themselves up in that part of town as far as getting housing, they're going to want to be homeless or be in one of those camps over there. And, you know, it just becomes about openings and who's got it, who doesn't, okay, but you know, you have these opportunities and they're not doing anything about it. Okay, they're screwing the pooch, and this is Gainesville's fault. This isn't Congress's fault. This isn't DeSantis's fault. This is the city of Gainesville and any city that is doing what Gainesville is doing. Okay, so okay, that time of the month, Tuck, time for a new shirt. Yeah, I know. I keep washing it though every time I go up for a shower, but it gets dirty so quick. I'm gonna come to Florida and give you a house, brother. Don't worry. All right, Brookie. Okay. Laundry, dude. If I do laundry, I'm walking around in my birthday suit, and nobody wants to see me in my birthday suit. I guarantee you that. Is the average. Okay. 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 One count on Triple H. Okay. They're claiming they all worked during the scandemic, so now we need to pay the price. What worked? That makes no sense. Okay, that makes no sense. They're trying to match the wages of the West Coast union. West Coast lost a ton of jobs to automation. That's why they're fighting that. Yeah, I get that. I fully get that. You know, we're going through a population implosion as we're going through a jobs implosion. I've got a video coming out. I'm working on it right now. Hold on a second. Let me go get it for you real quick. So I'm really working on creating, you know, better quality videos and stuff like that. So, what I'm doing is I've kind of got like an outline or a script, and the title of the video is going to be called "Homelessness: A Conspiracy by Design." And so, I mean, it's gonna. This is just kind of like a little bit of an outline of what's gonna happen. So, homelessness is a conspiracy by design, or is it a reflection of bad management policies? Is homelessness the ugly side of capitalism, or was homelessness built into the system for the elites to dispossess the weak and ignorant? What causes a person to give up? And when you give up, was it the design of policies or poor decisions on your part? Okay, so this is trying the whole thing that they're trying to match the wages and stuff like that. This is all by design. This is, and I don't know if this is just like unintended consequences by design, or if this is really by design, as in a conspiracy. So I'm looking at what's going on with the with all of this. You realize that unless they fix something, dude, you're probably gonna see 5 to 7% homeless, just because of the aftermath. If they go more than a month without fixing this, strike, okay, you're gonna really see it. And then look at where people are gonna go. I mean, there's no designated camps. There's not going to be enough space for them because the whole country, like, this is the death blow between COVID and the series of strikes that we're about to see, because according to Economic Ninja, this is just the first of many. Okay, and so a lot of these unions, they're going to think that they're going to win, and they're going to end up losing, because the elites have pre-positioned themselves. But did they tell the unions to do this? Is this the unions being told, okay, this is the stance we want you to go? So therefore they're ignorant and blind in following the policies, but they're being steered and puppeteered the whole way. And so what is this to do? This is to do such long-lasting, huge blows to the American economy that it will never be able to recover for at least a decade, if not longer, maybe 50 years. If this is part of World War III, China is kicking our ass. Okay, that is. What's up, Taylor? I'm glad you're still peeing in the shower. So I mean, that's just something to think about. Well, Jay, I got a lot of content. There's if you look through my playlists, there'll be something there for you. Okay, me and Tech gonna pick you up for a road trip. Okay, so I lost where I was. Okay. Oh, he must have. A month will cripple this country. Yeah. And so, like, they're trying to basically hold us over the barrel and demand unrealistic expectations. From what I understand, that they were offered like a 45 or 55% raise, but they couldn't go the full 70. And the union turned it down, and that's still a pretty damn good raise considering the amount of money that they're making. Okay, they're just. I think it's an intentional destruction of America. We've had people that have been warning us and telling us that that they're going to erode our borders and they're going to take away our sovereignty, and we're like, ha ha ha, we're America, we got guns. Well, they did it anyways. Look. How many migrants have come across, asylum seekers? How many of them have come across? Okay, what, 20 million, 30 million? Who knows? Okay, that's enough to replace at least, 25, 30% of the American workforce? I mean, that's just crazy. I mean, and so where do we put them? Oh, well, you know what? Cities like Chicago, they're kicking the blacks out, which I'm surprised from what I keep hearing. There's a civil war brewing there, but nobody really knows. But they're kicking the blacks out so that they can bring all these migrants in because they're getting $3,000 a month from the government. That's free tax money for them. And then they also get to beautification, raise values, everything else like that, charge astronomical rates, because, crime's going to go down. Everybody's got money. We're all rich, right? It's all off the government tit, but, that's kind of the way it works. Just like Housing First. That's my biggest problem with Housing First. Okay, you got a guy that loses his job, goes through his savings because his job got automated. There's an economic downturn, and he was on the cutting block. Okay, and goes through his savings, keeps looking for jobs. But there's so many people competing for jobs during the '08 crash. I managed to get a $5 an hour raise. Okay. But the thing is, I was reminded every day that there were 15 people waiting to take my job every single day. So therefore, they ran me into the ground, they worked me like a dog, and they still got me for cheaper than they could have, making me think I was actually getting a good deal. Okay? Because they could have hired much more experienced people than me. I was just fresh out of school and kind of still green behind the ears. And I wasn't brought up in a Linux shop. I was brought up in a Windows shop. So, yeah. They're giving all your benefits for Venezuelan, buddy. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, a month will cripple. What's up, Illuminati? Okay, didn't see his response. Okay. He called you an incel. No, people just throw words around. They don't even know what they mean, Like, yeah, call me a cracker. I'm going to take that as a compliment because you're too stupid to know what it means. 50% over 6 years. That's also tiered. The thing nobody is talking about is that the dock is all foreign owned. Well, yeah, foreign owned by which entity, though? Okay, sir, are you homeless? Yes, I am. So, I'm trying to move states. So I'm choosing not to date, but I'm charming enough to get laid in New England. Okay. Good to know, Alfred. Okay. Oh, wait, yeah, that's the incel comment. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm not mad. That's a predicament we're setting, but for the record, his words didn't hurt my feelers. Yeah, I don't think Alfred has feelers. Yeah, no. He's Mr. Tough as nails. You can't say anything to offend him. The sheep are less discerning in New England. Yeah, well, of course, easier to take advantage of. Whatever the government says. I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Oh, please, do you need to see under my bra? Oh, man, I stopped by and I got a gram today. Oh. Yeah, and I bought me a pre-roll, but the dog decided every time I went to light it, she kept throwing herself into it, trying to break it or put it out on her or something. She's being a brat. I had to tie her up and walk away because she keeps, throwing herself. I don't want you doing that shit. Pay attention to me. So, but yeah, that place is good. So for those, I don't know if I said anything about this in the beginning, but I want to tell you guys some good news that happened. So like I said, I'm going to stay here until at the very, sorry, that cred is still getting to me. I'm going to be here until at least, at the very latest, the 1st of November. The very earliest, the October 21st. Okay, so during that time, I'm going to be setting up a foundation. I need to start getting contacts and connects to be able to start getting sponsorships. So I came across a company that's like a marketing agency. They specialize in working with not-for-profits. I've got a meeting. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not going to make any deals or make any things like, oh yeah, this is going to happen. This is going to be so great. Da, 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 da. I don't know what's going to happen. He might just want to get to know me, follow my channel, and maybe once in a while throw me some work. Maybe he might see the channel and see the value in what we're trying to do, and he might send me a lot of work. Maybe he just might want to get to know me because, he works in the space and he just wants to, see how influencer marketing can help benefit, his clients and see how it works. Okay, so we're all gonna do this. It's gonna be playing it by ear. But the thing is, what makes it so good for me and so exciting is that it's a step in the right direction. Because let's say, best case scenario, I make a good enough impression on the guy. We decide to do a couple of local not-for-profits, and I go in, I put a lot of effort into the video, and I give them what they want, and I make a little bit of money at it. But now I've established that, the quality of work that I do, and all of that, to where now I can kind of start, using that not only as my resume, but then I can start, through that, there's going to be other agencies. It's going to probably work for them and work for me as well, because they will see the work that I do, and if it influences, or if other agencies see that, they're like, hey, we'd like to have something like that done for us. It might help, improve our image, or help us in the community, or whatever. Okay, so that is that is opportunities that are there. But I have to also put my best foot forward. I have to be able to show value, and be able to answer his questions, and be able to make sure that we're all on the same page. Because the reason why I want to work with these guys is because it gives me access to the people that I need access to, which are not-for-profits that are doing effective homeless services, that are actually working towards ending the homeless program, or the homeless crisis, versus just continuously sustaining it so that they can get the repeat customers. It's about those that are willing to make the tough decisions and help those who can be helped, versus trying to help the lowest common denominator because it pays the most. Okay, dirty deeds, holy shit. Alfred wears long boots so he can put the sheep's back legs in with his feet and they can't run away. Oh, that is good. I picked Black Mountain Welsh breed so I can sell black wool when we get civil war in the 1800s. Okay. Oh my God, you guys. I was going to look at all these comments and wonder about you too. No, I already know that. Yeah, these guys have a secret romance going on over on Patreon. You should come over and check it out. It's $5, $10, or $20 a month, depending upon what tier you want. There's already a lot of content up there for you to be able to binge watch on, But yeah, you should come on over there. Alfred and Jeremy, you guys can get in and have a big old circle jerk, and somebody's gonna get off somewhere. So, Tux the homeless guy comes to me and Bucknut for advice. Imagine. Yeah, because you guys are just crazy enough to actually give me some good advice. But yeah, it is. It is what it is. But yeah, that's all that's what's going on. In the first couple days, it was very loose phlegm. It was very watery. Since this morning and I woke up, it's like very solid and very like tight and stuff. So I've been coughing a lot deeper and getting a lot more out, but I think I'm close to the end of this. I mean, it generally doesn't last longer than a week. I thought I kind of had it beat, but because of how it was. So, I mean, you got to pay attention to these things when you're out here, because that'll tell you how sick you are, whether you're close to the end, whether you're not. Like, understanding, like, your waist is important to understand what's going on with your body. So, Tuck always offers to be in the middle of the circle jerk holding a saltine. It's weird, but whatever. Well, I have a cracker fetish. But anyways, yeah, I can't wait till this. I'm also still congested. I need to put this out. I can smoke weed just fine. It's smooth on my lungs, but as soon as I go into a cigarette, holy shit, it's the end of the world for me. But can we see your feral princess? Oh yes, I forgot. Where is she, anyways? Oh yeah, she's Oh yeah, you guys, she's right there. Look at the top of chat. Well, right there. She's been there the whole time. So, yeah, she wanted to play earlier today, and yeah, she don't care. She will force me to play. She has learned how to force me to play. So when we have these days and stuff like that, where we're doing stuff, but we're not on trail doing like 10-15 miles a day, and doing like mountains and hills and all kinds of crap like that. We're moseying around town. And so, she's still got a lot of energy. And if you also notice, she's getting pretty fat too. You know, today, or actually this morning, was the first time that she ate her food without like burping it, half of it up and stuff like that. Like she was eating so fast, and like I've been overfeeding her for days, but she had some serious hiker hunger. I didn't know that dogs can get hiker hunger, but yeah, dogs can get hiker hunger. Now that she's all fattened up, she took her time eating her dinner. She took her time eating her breakfast. You know, she's not eating everything like sucking it down and then, you know, So, anyways, um, I'm too old for circle jerks. Either we Dutch rudder or I'm gonna go start my own movie and on Hulu. She looks like she played hard. Oh yeah. Yeah, and she loves roughhousing too. That's her favorite thing, but she gets a little rough. I gotta tone her down every once in a while. But like if I push her off, she takes that as like, okay, we're gonna roughhouse. And then that's how she ruined my fucking roach today. Like I had it sitting in my lap, and then she came up and got in my face, and I pushed her away. I'm like, go away. And so now all of a sudden she takes that as a time to play, and next thing you know, I got her all up on me. I'm having to like throw her, like I'm literally like taking all my strength. I'm sitting down, I'm taking all my strength and just pushing her as hard as I can. Probably tossing her maybe 5 feet. You know, it was, and then she just keeps coming at me, and it doesn't matter what I do to her. I show her that as long as I've got control of her head, she goes anywhere and everywhere I want her to go. So, and she does not like that. She fights back hard when I do that. So, but yeah, she definitely, she and I definitely have fun. She has toys around here since, I when we got the balls from the vet, I let her play with them around here because I figured this is where we would camp most of the time. So, were you bogarting? Anyone ever? Oh yeah, she wanted some for herself. Sometimes I swear she is. Dude, my dog's an alcoholic. I don't even drink, and I know that my dog's an alcoholic because when we met up with Prophet. He kept putting his beer on the ground, and she come knock it over. And then his whiskey and put on the ground, knock it over. Like she goes and she tries to knock things over. Anything that is drinkage and she can come and rub up against, she will go and take her body and she'll knock it over so that she can lick it up. So this dog was getting drunk off her ass before we finally caught what she was doing. Yeah, my dog's an alcoholic. So, having someone complete the act of masturbation by pulling up and down on a forearm while the male holds his own penis. Really? That's just... Really? Huh. Maybe she just likes the flavor of beer. Maybe. Who knows? I don't know. She could like the flavor of beer, but my dog's an alcoholic. That's just the most important part. It's not gay. It's not about being gay. It's just like, why would I want somebody to grab my arm and do this? Okay? I mean, what? Like, did I blow out my shoulder muscle? Or like, have I been masturbating so much that my arm, I have no strength, so now I need some help masturbating? Like, is that what it's for? I mean, that's really what I'm talking about, Alfred. So we've got a lot of good things that are going on for the channel and stuff like that. Dude, I had an alcoholic Australian Shepherd. How'd that work out? Zach and Mary. Oh, I've seen that. My ex-wife and I went and saw that in the theater. We talked a long time about going to see that. Yeah, I know, right? So, but yeah, how'd that turn out, Kung Fu? So, sorry, that coughing kind of took a lot of my energy out. But, wow, I haven't seen a lot of people. I haven't seen Joanna. I haven't seen Feral Farm Girl. We've seen Taylor. Let's see, who else are we missing? We haven't seen Rim Job James. Let's see. We're missing some people. I hope everybody's doing okay. I hope they haven't lost their internet. That's where I learned the Dutch rudder. Yeah. Well, have you ever seen Clerks 2? You know, the ending is my favorite part. You know, that and the ending of what was Little Miss Sunshine. Only 2 beers per 6 pack. Uh, oh really? What's up, Clyde? She never came. I haven't heard from her since yesterday. She said she was on her way, and then she never came. So I don't know, Clyde. I would like to know myself. I hope that she's safe, and I don't know. Honestly, like I've asked myself the question, which would make me feel better, that she ended up in the hospital and that's why she didn't come, or that she got cold feet and she didn't come. And quite frankly, I'd prefer she got cold feet and didn't come, because at least, I know that it's her and it wasn't another, piece of chaos. So, yeah, I know. I mean, but like I said to you guys, if she doesn't come, then I'm moving on without her. And while I'm moving on without her, I mean, unless there was something that happened, I mean, I still want her to reach out to me and to tell me, like, hey, this is what happened. This is why I did this. This is why I didn't show up. Da 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 da. Give me a breakdown. Did I do something that spooked you? Was the trip too scary, and so therefore you decided you didn't want to do it? Did it just get too late to get to the bus, or you wanted to go home and go to sleep instead of get on the bus? What was it? So, I mean, I don't know. Or she's getting spit roasted behind Waffle House. Well, if that's happening, I'm greatly concerned. I don't think so, guys. I don't really, I mean, I'm not saying whether or not she is that type of girl, but what I am saying is that at least she had me convinced, and as much of a flake as I knew she was, she still had me convinced. I actually believed that she was going to show up. And I kept telling myself that. And I'm telling you, like, I didn't realize it until I started to decompress, like how stressful this whole thing has been, just to be able to get her here, the delays that we've had, the stressors of trying to make sure logistics is right, and all that other stuff. Like, it was a lot on me. And, the more stressed out I get, the more snippy I get. And so, I mean, I'm kind of finally starting to fully de-stress. Let's see what she has to say before we pass judgment. Correct. I want to know what she has to say first. But yeah, I mean, I understand you guys are we're all bros and everything else like that. But at the same time, one of the things that I pride myself on, and something that most people say about me in my personal life, is that I try and be decent to everybody. I try and give everybody a decent, fair shake before I just completely walk away. And so, like, I want to give her a fair shake, because who knows what happened. She had to drive from one city to the other. There could have been an accident. There could have been a lot of different things. She couldn't have gotten on the bus because, her phone was broke or whatever. Who knows? So, I mean, there's a lot of different possibilities, and I'm just gonna wait. And if she never contacts me, then I wish her the best. Okay. This chat is cracking me up. Yeah. Like that, Aaron. Yeah. There's a lot of storm damage. Maybe on the bus. She may be on. No, because the 6:30 bus that she was supposed to be on already showed up, and the bus that she would have been picked up on left here at 5 o'clock last night, 5 or 6 o'clock. So that bus would have picked her up, and so it left on time and everything else like that. They would, if her bus didn't show up, they would have rerouted her. So, I mean, I've been on that where they've had to reroute me because my bus was late. But, a lot of the times the buses are late to start off with, but then all of a sudden they make up a lot of time because they cut out brakes. They add a couple miles an hour to their speed. They do certain things like that so that they can make up a certain amount of time. And they do pretty good at it, because, I mean, we've been an hour and a half behind and then ended up on time where I at least had like 20 minutes to catch my next bus. So I don't really know. I mean, I don't really think that there was an issue. I think that either something happened to her or she got cold feet. I don't think that there was an issue with the bus or the roads because the Atlanta bus got here 15 minutes early this morning. It showed up at 6:15. So I was there looking, even showing a picture. Did you see this girl in Atlanta? No. Okay, well, she probably didn't get on the bus. Or if she did, she got on a late bus. And she still hasn't reached out to me. The buses have Wi-Fi. She should be able to at least send me a text. If she doesn't have a courtesy to send me a text, I mean, then, whatever consequences happen, it's on her. So, but I don't know. Okay. 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 I have a podcast I make called the Voice for the Voiceless Podcast. I'd love to have you on something for an interview. Well, Black Rock and Rob, you have to email me, friartuck@hobotuck.com. That's my website, friartuck@hobotuck.com. If you want me to interact with you that's more of a business arrangement, then you're gonna have to reach out to me via my email, and I'll respond. Make sure you send me a couple of examples so I can see if it's something I want to associate myself to it. But yeah, definitely, I'm always open to being interviewed on other people's channels. So I picked up my Glock 40 long slide. If you have any property to hog hunt. Oh yeah, the new hog hunt makes a lot of money too. Where's she at? I don't know. She's in Georgia. Is there a way to see if maybe she got off early? Did she get on? I actually found out that I do know her legal name through her email because we emailed back and forth before that. So I could go look her up, but I'm not going to. I'm going to let her reach out to me because, quite frankly, I think more often than not, she got cold feet. There's part of me that thinks that she may have never even bought the ticket. She just told me she bought the ticket, but she, because the whole reason why she ghosted me in the first place was because, in her words, is that she was spineless and afraid, and so therefore, in a cowardly way, she slunk away and hid. And if she's doing that this time for whatever reason, that's just fucking dumb. Okay, quit making it about you, because it's not. Anyways. Because, there was a couple of things that were said that I've kind of thought about. It's like, I wonder if that was, because she was like, sorry for da-da-da-da, and sorry for this. I said, just show up and don't make me look like a fool. Oh, I won't. Well, now I look like a fool. Yeah, I know. But get a new shirt. At least you buy a sports car. You have to drive it home. I mean, that's a big deal to travel to meet a homeless guy on the internet. Just wish she would communicate. That's pretty much, and you know what? It's not, her and I had, 3+ months of talking to, for her to feel comfortable with me on that. And plus, she watches my live stream. She was a subscriber before. I mean, I'm not just some random homeless guy. I mean, she knows me better than, in a lot of ways. If you watch my content and then decide, I want to date Tuck, well, you've watched my content long enough to where you should know enough about me, the content of my character, and who I am as a human being to make a decision of, okay, I think I want to pursue that. So I think that, just to be able to meet some random homeless guy and go meet up with him, yeah, that's one thing, but I'm not a random homeless guy. I spent months procuring my relationship with her. We spent a lot of time on the phone. We did all kinds of things together. We were developing a relationship. We were just waiting for the final connect, and she was like so into it that that's what baffles me, is like, how could she be so into it and then just like, nope, not coming. That's really the problem. That's really what gets me. So, ketamine. I don't know what ketamine is. So I actually know a few homeless people and they don't have phones. Yeah. Well, Jeff, there is an option to get the free phones. Remember the landline, the lifeline that Ronald Reagan put up? Well, we no longer have landlines. So what they're doing now is, because we're transitioning from landlines to cell phones, they give away free cell phones instead of free landlines. So your friend would qualify as long as he's got food stamps or proof of government benefits. He could get a free government phone. It's only going to give him like a gig of data a month, and it's going to give him like 300 or 400 minutes. But he, you know, he can do with it what he needs to. So I'm Irish Italian, and they have quotas for jail now, huh? Okay. I actually know a few homeless people, and okay. Okay. She's. But I am working. What do you think this is? What do you think I'm doing? Do you think that people just go on YouTube because it's just like, oh yeah, it's just something fun to do, like a hobby? No, there are people that make business out of this. Businesses use this as a way to be able to market and advertise. Um, the digital media, the digital footprint is so big and is so necessary to be able to conduct business, that if you're not in the digital economy in some form or fashion, you're losing out not only on money, but future opportunities. And so I'm in the digital economy, Tuka. So, I mean, if you're going to sit there and say get a job, well, no, I'm not going to go get a brick and mortar job. The digital economy pays me much better, gives me much better opportunities, actually gives me hope to be able to have a better future than going to work at some factory, you know. Victim circumstances like million. Yes. And Adderall to balance it. Oh, wow. I don't get, okay. I'm drunk free to except for alcohol. That's funny, Jeff. I'm actually homeless too. Yeah. Aren't you? You're in California or you're in Oregon, Dekine? I think you're in oh God, not Roseburg. Grants Pass, aren't you? I actually seen a payphone. It was strange. Yeah, I know. I saw one in Cincinnati. So, she didn't come, Taylor. Seen. Okay. No. Okay. Okay. You don't have to prescribe to some out of date ideas as to what work is or not. Yeah. Bro, that sucks. You're working and you're homeless. I have a home and I'm jobless. What the hell is going on? Well, here's the thing. The system is designed to help those who don't want to help themselves. If you want to help yourself, that means they can't have control. If they can't have control, they're going to do what they can to be able to keep you down. That's the way the system is designed. That's the way the system is. That's the way the system will always be. It's about power and control. And if you don't give them power and control, then they will take it in other ways. And if they still can't get it from you, well, then they will just ostracize you from the system. So the homeless are the last bastion of people that are finally just telling the system to screw off because they're not benefiting from the system. But then they figured out another way to be able to force us in. So harvest is coming on both. Okay. I'm in San Antonio and I'm also homeless. Any advice for sleeping when it's hot outside? Okay, it's hot here in Florida too. I'm telling you. Here's the thing. And when it comes to dealing with heat, okay, or cold, okay, I'm sorry, I got to pop up. Whether it's hot or cold, one of the things is there's a 20-degree swing between high and low. Okay, your body, once you've been outside for long enough, will start acclimating to it. And so therefore, if the temperature gradually goes up and goes down, okay, then it's easy for you to live outside. But we're having extreme temperatures where it gets extremely hot for a short period of time and then extremely cold for a short period of time, which wreaks havoc for somebody who lives outside, because you're constantly having to cycle between, your hot gear and your cold gear, okay? And it becomes a pain in the ass. But the reality is like, okay, it was 88 today. When it gets down to about 78, that's about a 10-degree drop. There's a tiny little bit of a breeze. I just kind of focus on that breeze and how it cools me off a little bit. And, I make sure I don't put my rain cover on my tent because that blocks in heat. The only time I put my rain cover on is when there's rain, unless it's cold. Okay, because that rain cover is going to add like 5 degrees and it's going to be miserable in there. So just save it for rain. just keep an open air. Like as far as like with the little mesh net and stuff like that, you'll get a lot more airflow. Another thing is kind of like rolling on your side versus on your back. At least that works for me, because when I'm on my back, I get warm. When I roll on my side, I can feel that breeze coming in, and so therefore it kind of cools me down. Understand that your feet, your head, and your hands is where heat exits, so you need to make sure that you have those outside of blankets or anything else like that. But by the time it gets down to about 78 degrees, I can finally fall asleep, or start to fall asleep. By the time it gets down to about 75, 74, I'm pulling the blanket up over me. And yeah, if it's under 70, yeah, I'm doing fine. But the reason why is because my body is it was hot at 88 degrees, but when it gets down to 68 degrees, my body is like cold, because it doesn't have that constant temperature. When it goes up, your body starts to overheat because it's trying to compensate. When it goes down, now your body's trying to warm up. After being in the hot and getting the cool down, well, your body feels much better. Okay, and when it goes cold, same thing. At night it's going to be cold. It's going to be coldest during the darkest times of night, and the temperature is going to drop quicker. So first thing you want to do in the morning, especially if there's clear skies, find the sun, stand in it, and thaw out. You'll warm up if you know how to walk in the sun, and like, okay, I'm going to walk in the sun. It might be 20 degrees out that day. You'll feel like it's 60 or 70 because you have that direct sunlight on you. Now during the summer that sucks, but in the winter, that is golden, because that keeps you warm during the cold times. Okay, so what homeless services are available and what are the problems? Okay, that sounds like a good idea. We'll do turkeys and chickens and okay. By the way, Tuck, I sent you an email like you said. I included both the YouTube channel and Spotify link to the podcast as well. Yeah. Okay, perfect. I will check it after. I usually check my emails after, and I go on Patreon, like usually in the morning when I do when I have to make some posts. I go check out on Patreon, and then I usually check it afterwards. So hey guys, there's different ways you can help the channel out. One is becoming a member either on Patreon or YouTube. The other is tip in my tip jar, which is down in the description. And then, the others are just watching all my videos and subscribing and sharing them, making sure to make comments, because here's the thing. YouTube is grading me on a couple of things. How long do you watch the video? They also grade me on do you keep watching videos on the same topic, or do you change? Because if you change, that means you got the answer, which means that I'm going to move up, because now I'm providing solutions and answers. Okay, so things like that kind of play a big deal in how I go through the algorithm, and kind of what pushes me out to more. And then when you share it with your friends and family, that gives me extra impressions, and then kind of helps add to the overall snowball effect that I'm trying to get. Okay, so that's kind of how you guys can help the channel if you want to. But anyways, guys, let me go down to the bottom of the chat, see what we got here. About what problems. Okay, what are you going to do with Florida new laws? I'm waiting for Gainesville. Clyde, you're probably going to want to go back to the beginning and watch this, because I actually answered a lot of that. But essentially, Gainesville isn't even prepared. It's October 1st, and they don't even have the designated camps up. So if they try to take me to jail, it's denial of due process. Sleeping at 62, 64. Yeah, I mean, that's nice, but you got to go with what you got to go with and where you're at. So your body acclimates naturally. Do you not know about the turducken? No, I don't. With a bunch of videos so we can autoplay them overnight, while the ones that haven't seen all of them. I do have a playlist with there's a playlist. It's called videos. There's also a playlist. There's some of my homeless how-tos and stuff like that. Those are all playlisted out. I've got 7 or 8 playlists. You just gotta look around my channel page. So we had a platform in the early 90s. I'd be rich videoing my past. I'm grateful for your videos, buddy. Well, thanks, Dakine. Much appreciated. A lot of us, I don't know. That's the one thing I always get is people like the fact that I'm sharing it, and I've been told by others that a lot of the reason why people won't say what I say is because they're afraid that they will lose, they'll lose money or services, or support within the community. So, but you guys seem to take care of me quite well, so I don't have to really rely on it. I'm still eating freeze dried food, so I mean I don't even have to go up to Grace except for water and to take a shower, and I don't even need to do laundry because every time I take a shower I wash my shirt and my pants. So okay, chicken stuffed in a duck, and then you take stuffed duck and stuff it in. That's just stupid. Where did, like, was somebody just bored? So okay, Thanksgiving meal different day than family Thanksgiving. Huh? Interesting. I don't know. I probably wouldn't eat it, but that sounds interesting. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Okay, his videos are a wealth of valuable information. Thank you, Kung Fu. Thanks for being here, guys, and I will see you in tomorrow's live stream. Or actually, yeah. So I'll be doing a behind the scenes every morning before I leave camp. So I'll pack up camp and then I'll start it, and then I'll go do what I got to do, and then I'll come back, and yeah. Well, this is going to start becoming a routine over the next few days. Okay, so. Oh, I'm in Gainesville right now. So, all right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow.